if you bought the original Pac-Man port for the Atari 2600 for around $50 in 1900s dollars, buckle up. Atari's got a new deal for you. And hi, everybody. Welcome to Bog Panda. I am Kelly at KELLYTHUL on Twitter and Instagram. And I will allow the next individual to introduce himself and offer other suggestions to you because that's the kind of co-host I am. Mike?
You're such a good guy, Kelly.
I know.
I am Dr. Mike at Official Pagan on everything. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, leave a few comments, check out some more videos, leave some comments on those. Go to our merch store. You're basically naked right now, not wearing one of our t-shirts. You should be ashamed. And you guys like short podcasts, right? We have the shortest podcast in the world for you. So go to our shorts page, check out all of the episodes of Hard No. There's even more of them coming. It's a daily podcast that's about a minute long.
Right. And remember, it's not the size of the podcast, it's how you use it.
So. Kelly, with your filthy innuendos.
That's right. Yep. See, it's not that hard. Kind of let the other guy talk a little bit, give some information. You might want to try it out sometime. So, but what we are going to talk about, both of us together as a team today, is a somewhat interesting offer from Atari. So it appears that a lot of when they were doing reissues of their 2600 classics, that those were available. They kind of sold out. But don't worry, there's now a packaging of 10 Atari 2600 classic games for the low price of $999. So for basically $1,000, you get 10 Atari 2600 games. Wow.
Yeah.
And they spell out Atari 50th anniversary when you stack them all together. Forgot to mention that. So that's super cool.
Yeah, I mean, way to bury the lead there.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. You got any interest in this, Mike?
No. So it's funny when they announced the cartridges, I do remember seeing a couple of these, some different game sites or game YouTube channels talking about them. They did look cool, like a new packaged Atari 2600 cartridge that it does work apparently. And it comes with like a little acrylic stand, so you can put the cartridge kind of on a stand with a little topper on it that has the game name and everything. It is kind of cool looking. And for something, if it's a game I love, like Haunted House or Yar's Revenge, maybe I would do something like that, you know. And they were like $50, I believe, or $60 when they released, something like that. And it was just, I didn't pull the trigger on it. Like, it was just a little bit too much for something that was just going to sit on a shelf, that would just have no use for it. And I don't love it that much where I would do that. Whereas if it was, you know, a reissue of like one of my all-time favorite games, I would definitely buy that for that price. Not for $1,000, for the $50 price point of that. So when I saw that they were announcing this collection, I was like, oh, cool. Maybe I'll see what sort of deep discount you get by buying the bundle of these. $1,000 is the cost of this. They cost more buying them as part of the bundle.
It was did I mention it spells out Atari 50?
Yeah, I do keep forgetting the main selling feature of this.
But, yeah, and you know, and I'm a budding Atari completionist collector. I'm starting to look at saying, boy, I'd like to get a lot more of these, particularly some of the more esoteric systems. I think that would be pretty cool. I'm an Atari fan. I'm, you know, an Atari token tycoon. These are the things, you know, these are the things I'm all about. So I'm very pro Atari, big fan. But even with that fan and developing, say, well, what else should I get to kind of show my Atari-ness? I just, for $1,000, 10 games that you're never going to play, because one, you've got about 18 different things already.
Yeah.
And you've got the little LED toppers. Those are interesting, but not $1,000 interesting. You know?
Right. It's cool. They look cool. Don't get me wrong, but they look $1,000 cool.
Yeah. I don't really know who they're, because the really, there can't be that many that rabid Atari fans. I know there are big Atari fans, but you have to be at a special level to be willing to drop $1,000 for 10 2600 games. I mean,
Now, I
if
do
it
know
was,
the original issues of these did all sell out, but how many of them were there?
um, there were more than 10, I think.
I mean, like how many copies
Oh,
did
how
each?
many copies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, your marketplace is shrinking. Is the number of working 2600s out there is continuing to dwindle. I would assume mine works, and we have a video on that. Maybe we'll include a link to that. But yeah, it's an interesting thing to see, and it really is seems like much more a pure collector play. And to me, they made their mark to celebrate 50 years of Atari the best with the celebration collection that they had.
Yeah.
It's all the history. You got a chance to experience all sorts of games, Jaguar emulation, which has been super rare to be able to kind of enjoy that on any kind of platform. Really well designed overall. That should be enough to me, because it was also at a price point much different than $1,000, and you got more games to play. And I mean, you don't
Plus
have.
all the great content that it has that Kelly was mentioning, videos, manuals, artwork, advertising, all kinds of stuff that you can spend hours and hours and hours pouring through stuff without even playing the games.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's an outstanding collection, really well curated, candid interviews from a lot of folks. So you get tons of bonus video footage there. You get, sometimes it's a game abstract where someone said, okay, this is kind of how I think the game's going to work, and commentary back and forth from folks on that. You get to kind of learn the political when Warner bought them, and kind of how things change from different cultures as they've kind of moved through. So uh, it it's definitely worth. We've done a show on this before too. We definitely recommend you get it. It's available on every platform, even the Atari VCS. Finally, you can
A little
get
late,
it.
but not never.
Yep, last one.
And I would say the most important thing that it holds isn't its great collection, isn't just the fact that it has Jaguar games, not the fact that it has a brand new 2600 game or the remakes of some of the classic games. It has the one and only Atari Jaguar VR game included. And why that's important is there's no Atari Jaguar VR,
Yep,
but there was a game for it. And it's included here.
which is good. Which is, yeah. So that's a. So you can pretend. I've tried. I've not had a lot of success interacting with that so far, but it's there, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, but we wanted to alert you to it. I can't say we're super excited about recommending you, but I mean, help educate us if we're missing something here on why this would be about where your dollars could go at this point in time when you've got other things happening at games and Evercade and all these other kind of options. Arcade One Up rapidly reissuing things. And there's
Your
other options
15th
out
edition
there.
of Pac-Man that you could buy.
So if we're missing something here, let us know. But we did want to kind of talk about it. It was surprising, and for the pure collector out there, more power to you. That's great. But boy, for the dollars, I just think there's so much more entertainment and enjoyment I can get out of other solutions.
It doesn't even come with a coin door.
Yeah. So what's up with that? So anything else on this ringing endorsement of the Atari 50?
Yeah, I go buy the 50th anniversary collection. It's an awesome collection. We can't overstate that enough. And if you love it and have an extra $1,000 to spend, sure, you could go this route. But for the low price of about $40.
Yeah, but if you do have an extra $1,000, you might want to go back to that merchandise store mentioned at the beginning and stock up on Bog Panda merchandise.
You don't want $1,000 of Atari 2600 cartridges staring back at you not wearing a Bog Panda t-shirt.
Right. And you're going to get more than one for $1,000.
Yeah,
More than 10 for $1,000.
it's the kind of deal we offer.
Bog Panda.